Yehova, please fill me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yehova, pay careful attention and respond. Yehova is our power and authority. Yehova works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehova with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, He, Vav, He. Hand, behold, nail, behold. Exodus chapter 20. Then God said all these words, Aleph, I am Yehova your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the abode of slavery. Bet, you are to have no other gods before me. You are not to make for yourselves a carved image of any kind of representation of anything in heaven above, on earth beneath, or in the water below the shoreline. You are not to bow down to them or serve them. For I, Yehova, your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sins of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but displaying grace to the 1,000th generation, to those who love me and obey my mitzvot. Gimel. You are not to use lightly the name of Yehova, your God, because Yehova will not leave unpunished someone who uses his name lightly. Dalet. Remember the day, Shabbat, to set it apart for God. For you have 6 days to labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Shabbat for Yehova, your God. On it, you are not to do any kind of work. Not you, your son or your daughter, not your male or female slave, not your livestock, and not the foreigner staying with you inside the gates to your property. For in 6 days Yehova made heaven and earth, the sea and everything in them. But on the 7th day, he rested. This is why Yehova blessed the day, Shabbat, and separated it for himself. Hey, honor your father and mother, so that you may live long in the land which Yehova your God is giving you. Vav, do not murder. Zayin, do not commit adultery. Chet, do not steal. Tet, do not give false witness. Do not give false evidence against your neighbor. Yod, do not covet your neighbor's house. Do not covet your neighbor's wife, his male or female slave, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. All the people experienced the thunder, the lightning, the sound of the shofar, and the mountains smoking. When the people saw it, they trembled. Standing at a distance, they said to Moshe, You speak with us, and we will listen. But don't let God speak with us, or we will die. Moshe answered the people, Don't be afraid, because God has come only to test you and make you fear him, so that you won't commit sins. So the people stood at a distance, but Moshe approached the thick darkness where God was. Yehova said to Moshe, Here is what you are to say to the people of Israel. You yourselves have seen that I have spoke with you from heaven. You are not to make with me gods of silver, nor are you to make gods of gold for yourselves. For me, you need to make only an altar of earth. On it you will sacrifice your burnt offerings, peace offerings, sheep, goats, and cattle. In every place where I cause my name to be mentioned, I will come to you and bless you. If you will make me an altar of stone, you are not to build it with cut stones, for if you use a tool on it, you profane it. Likewise, you are not to use steps to go up to my altar, so that you won't be indecently uncovered. How can we love our God, our Creator, Yehova, after reading Exodus 20. You can learn the basic instructions for life. Trust that Elohim Yehova said, Aleph, I am Yehova, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the abode of slavery. Bet. You are not to have any other Elohim before me. Trust that he will display grace to those who love Yehova and obey the mitzvot of Yehova. Gimel. You are not to use lightly the name of Yehova your Elohim. Dalet. Remember the day Shabbat to be set apart for Elohim. The seventh day is Shabbat for Yehova your Elohim. On the seventh day, Yehova creator of heaven and earth, rested. This is why Yehova blessed the day Shabbat, separated it for himself. Hey, honor your father and mother so that you may live long in the land which Yehova, your Elohim, is giving you. Vav, do not murder. Zayin, do not commit adultery. Chet, do not steal. Tet, do not give false evidence against your neighbor. Do not covet your neighbor's house, wife, slaves, animals, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Trust that all the people trembled as they heard Yehova, so they asked Moshe to speak to them lest they die. Trust that Yehova tests us to make us fear him so that we will not sin. Trust and obey the written words of Yehova with our lives. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can display this love for one another, knowing the whole Torah is summed up in this one sentence. Love your neighbor as yourself. Therefore learn to love yourself as Yehova loves you. Bear one another's burdens. We can trust that in doing this, we are fulfilling Torah's true meaning. Bear one another's burdens. Produce spiritual fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. End with Aaronic blessing. Yehova will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehova will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehova will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.